The deeper you sink into success born from shortcuts, the more you lose the parts of yourself that made it all worth chasing in the first place. Evelyn Moore had everything she ever wanted: fame, fortune, power, but it was all built on a forgotten cost. Now, as the world bows at her feet, she finds herself drifting further from who she once was, and something is watching, waiting for the rest of the payment to be collected. For weeks, Evelyn tried to hold herself together. She doubled down on her empire, launched 2 new global projects, and graced the covers of Time, Bloomberg, and Architect Digest in the same month. People called her untouchable, a goddess of industry. But behind the closed doors of her penthouse, the cracks were becoming impossible to ignore. Her reflection in the mirror began to change. It was subtle at first. A dullness in her eyes. A stiffness in her smile. Then came the flickers, split-second distortions when her face seemed unfamiliar. Once, while brushing her hair, she looked into the mirror and saw herself blink a moment too late, as if her reflection was lagging behind. She turned away. And her reflection kept staring. Evelyn didn't scream. She didn't panic. She simply left the bathroom, shut the door, and ordered a bottle of champagne. It was easier to believe she was tired, overworked, stressed. After all, there were no such things as curses or bargains or shadowy merchants who stole pieces of your soul in exchange for success. Right? But then, the names began vanishing. On Monday, she forgot the name of her CFO. On Wednesday, she couldn't recall her late grandmother's name. By Friday, she stared at the portrait hanging above her fireplace and realized she didn't know who she was looking at. That weekend, she visited her mother. The house was warm and modest, the same suburban home Evelyn had grown up in. But it felt like visiting someone else's memories. She moved through the rooms as though walking through a stranger's childhood. "Evie, are you okay?" her mother asked gently as they sat for tea. Evelyn smiled tightly. "Of course. Just tired. The Dubai contract is draining." Her mother touched her hand. "Do you remember when you used to draw houses on napkins? You were only 5 and told me you'd build a city one day." Evelyn paused. "I don't remember that," she admitted. Her mother's smile faltered. "You used to draw them with your father." Evelyn's jaw tensed. "I've already told you, I don't remember him." Her mother's eyes welled with tears. "You said the same thing at the funeral, too. But back then, you cried. Now it's like he never existed to you." The words sank into her like cold water. She excused herself to the bathroom and locked the door. She stared into the mirror, heart pounding. Who am I forgetting next? As if in answer, the lights flickered. Behind her, in the mirror's reflection, stood a tall shadow. She spun around, nothing. The room was empty. She turned back to the mirror, and screamed. Her reflection was gone. In its place was a dark version of herself, smiling with teeth that were too sharp, eyes black as tar, lips moving without sound. Evelyn stumbled back, crashing into the sink. When she looked again, her reflection had returned, normal, familiar. But her heart thundered as she realized something horrifying. Her reflection wasn't hers anymore. It belonged to something else. That night, she drank until she blacked out. She awoke at 3:33 a.m. to a knock at her penthouse door. The city outside was silent, unnaturally still. She pulled on a robe, heart racing, and opened the door without checking the peephole. There was no one there. Only a small black envelope. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. This one had no note inside. Just a photograph. It was of a man. Tall, smiling. His arm wrapped around her shoulder. Written on the back, Lucas and Evelyn, Montauk, 2015. She didn't know him. She didn't know what Montauk was. But her chest ached with sudden, suffocating pain. Tears fell down her face, unbidden. "Who are you?" she whispered. The lights flickered again. That night, she dreamed of a bonfire on a beach. Her hand entwined in someone else's. A promise whispered beneath stars. And then, a scream. A splash. The feeling of loss. She woke up gasping. She needed answers. She returned to the abandoned lot where the shop once stood. This time, it wasn't empty. A tent had appeared, dark canvas with gold embroidery. Smoke curled from its seams. A sign hung from the flap, final installment due. Evelyn stepped inside. It was cold, far colder than the October night outside. The same man stood behind a wooden table, expression unchanged. "You've done well," he said. "Your name is known across continents." "What have you done to me?" she demanded. "Why am I forgetting everything?" "I took what was owed," he replied calmly. "You desired greatness without sacrifice. So I took what you valued least, at first. I didn't know I was giving you my memories." "You never asked," he said. Her voice cracked. "I don't remember my father. My childhood. I don't even know who Lucas is. You will forget your mother soon. Then your name. Then everything else. But you will remain rich. Famous. Powerful." She fell to her knees. "Please," she whispered. "I want it back." He tilted his head. "You want to undo your success?" "No," she whispered, eyes wide. "I want my memories and my success." He smiled, a slow, sinister thing. "Then the cost increases." A mirror appeared behind him. Inside it, Evelyn saw a version of herself she didn't recognize, laughing in a sunlit park, hugging someone she didn't remember. There was color in her eyes. Joy. Peace. "You may take it all back," the man said. "Every memory. Every emotion. Every soul-tethered moment I've stolen." She looked at him, desperate. "How?" He leaned forward. "Give me your future." The tent trembled with windless force. "If you want your past returned," he said, "you must surrender everything that awaits you. Your career. Your empire. Your name in the lights. You'll fade from the world's memory as if you never existed in it." Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. "And if I say no?" "You'll remain exactly as you are. A goddess in gold, hollow as bone." She stood slowly, staring into the mirror. The version of herself in the reflection, happy, whole, was crying softly, hand pressed against the glass. Evelyn turned back to the man. I need time." He nodded. "But not much. Your final memory will vanish in 7 days. Choose before then." Over the next few days, Evelyn changed. She canceled meetings. Ignored media calls. Spent hours listening to voicemails she no longer remembered leaving. She walked through parks that felt faintly familiar. She visited hospitals, schools, bookstores, hoping for a spark. A flicker. Anything. But it was all fading too fast. On the 6th night, she found herself at a beach. She didn't know why, just that her feet had taken her there. The sky was gray, the waves gentle. She sat in the sand, staring into the horizon, when she heard a voice behind her. "Montauk's gotten quiet, huh?" She turned. It was him. The man from the photograph. Lucas. He looked older, more tired. But his eyes held something hers no longer did, memory. "I knew I'd find you here," he said, sitting beside her. "You used to come here when things got too loud." She said nothing. He pulled a small, smooth stone from his pocket. It was shaped like a heart. He placed it in her hand. "You gave me this," he said. "Said it reminded you of love. Said you'd never leave me." Her lips trembled. "I don't remember," she whispered. "I know," he said, his voice breaking. "But I still do. For both of us." They sat in silence. Then he stood. "You made a deal with something that feeds on forgetting," he said. "But you can still choose what kind of story you want to live." He walked away, leaving her alone with the sea and the stone. Evelyn Moore had reached the pinnacle of success, but in doing so, she sacrificed the very memories that made her human. Now, with her past nearly erased and only 7 days to choose, she faces the most important decision of all: remain powerful but empty, or vanish from the spotlight to reclaim the pieces of her soul. What would you choose? Subscribe for part 3.